Good morning, you guys. It is a beautiful day outside, and we're about to go outside in just a minute, but we're going to be bringing some seedlings out. We're going to be planting out in the garden today some of my seedlings. I'm going to be planting some poppies, and I think my Lisianthus, and a few other things, and I'm so excited. I know some of you guys are going to be like, Robbie, we don't want to hear it, because my last frost is in like a week, and I'm looking on the 10-day forecast, and like we have one night that's going to hit like 34 degrees, but the things that I'm going to plant out can handle like a light frost, so they could even handle down to 32 degrees. So like I'm going to plant out snapdragons. I'm going to plant out all the things that can handle a little frost. Some of these things have already been hardened off, like my Lisianthus. All of these things have been like hardened off already, which means I've just been taking them outside in like small increments throughout the day. And today I think is the day that I've decided that they're gonna go outside and they're gonna live their lives outside for the rest of the year. So with that, let me turn the camera around, show you guys what I'm actually going to be bringing outside and what is going to be staying in here. This is seed starting shelves. So things that are staying, coleus is going to stay, and then the corn and the loofahs are going to stay, but the scabiosa and the euryngum are going to come out. And then up here, this whole tray is going to come out. These are poppies, snapdragons. I do have some calendula, and I think those are probably going to stay. And I think my tomatoes also might need to stay just a little bit longer. And then over here, this is all going to come out. This is Dusty Miller, some stock, and some black pansies. Those are all going to come out. Over here, the gomphrena is going to stay in. The mahogany splendor hibiscus. The mahogany splendor hibiscus. Why can't I say this? The mahogany splendor hibiscus is going to stay in. When this thing grows up, everyone is like, oh my gosh, what is that? Maple. It's not a maple. It's a hibiscus. And then all of these are poppies, and all of these are going to come out. And do you guys see how big they look? They've grown so much just in a short time of transplanting them. And then this is the Lisianthus, and these are still so tiny. They have put on some growth, but they're still tiny. And I mean, like, there's a couple that like are very, very tiny. And like this one died, this one died, this one died, this one died. So a few died, but for the most part, they're looking really great. So I have probably got about like 70-ish of these Lisianthus. So my seed room is about to look extremely empty, which is fine because that means I'm going to be starting things like my cosmos and my zinnias. And the reason that I'm going to start those from seed is I'm not going to start those today. We're just going to get things planted today. But the reason I'm going to start like cosmos and zinnias instead of direct sowing them is because I can get a jump start on growing them, which I only want like a week or two of a jump start. If I go direct sow them, then they're probably not going to start germinating anytime soon. Probably like another like 3 or 4 weeks they'll start germinating. But if I do it in here, in like a week, I'll be able to transplant them out, and then we should be about after my last frost. So that's kind of my plan for today, which is always a scary time because planting them out, there's still a risk of frost. There's still a risk of a hard frost coming, which we rarely get a hard frost coming in, but there's still that chance. And if that comes and it takes out my seedlings, I'm out of luck. I have no seedlings. So it's a risk. It's a risk to plant before your last frost. So let's go get these planted now because I am so excited to get my hands in the dirt, and like this is my growing season now. It's time. I'm going. I'm gonna grab another tray and another insert really quick so I can play shuffle a little bit with these seedlings because like I said, they're not all gonna come out. So I need to move some of them into a new tray. So I gotta grab a new thing, whatever it's called, a tray. Just gonna grab this tray, and I'm also gonna grab a single insert. We're gonna play shuffle really quick with these seedlings because there's certain ones that are not ready to go outside, like the mahogany splendor hibiscus. Look at those roots. Wow. Actually, let's talk about this really quick because this is another reason that I absolutely love using the Bootstrap Farmer, like seed supply stuff, any of it. So this tray right here, the insert, doesn't go all the way down to the bottom. And so what I do is I fill this tray up with water. So these trays, all of these are full of water. And it kind of forces the roots to grow down through the holes that are in here. You guys can see the holes that are in there. It forces the roots to grow through the holes. And then these roots go into the water and they stay nice and healthy and very happy, and they grow fast. So I'm gonna try to feed this back through this. This tray has some things that are not going to be getting planted. This tray is gonna go back inside now. I'm so excited to get these planted out. Oh my gosh, it feels like spring is here. This looks so sad. These have been inside for way too long, that was the problem. And you guys know I'm really, really good at giving fertilizer. That's why there's so much yellowing on the leaves. They've also had like an infestation with aphids. And so it's been a problem. I think what I'm gonna do is keep the Euryngum and I'm gonna plant all of that out. I've been shooting it with Neem Max to try to kill all of the aphids. This is the Scabiosa, and I've had it close to the light, but some of these have like, I mean, look at this one. This one is really stretched. And like this one's about to flower. I don't know. So I don't know if I'm gonna keep all the Scabiosa, especially because I already have some actually growing in my lawn, which is, I picked all of these up from the lawn. So it's where I got all of these. And I think what I might do is just move some of the ones that are in the lawn and not keep these ones because these ones don't look the best. And so I don't wanna put something that looks sad like this in the garden. As a reminder, I've been using all of the Bootstrap Farmer seed starting trays, cells, and I've kind of had like the opportunity to upgrade to some really nice like seed starting supplies, and they continue to sell out. So I wanted to also tell you guys this because I've gotten a few emails from people saying that they're sold out. If you go to their website, one that I recommend is the Ultimate Backyard Gardener's Bundle. That's the one that I recommend people buy. If you go to there and it says sold out, there's an option that you can hit that says notify me when back in stock, and it'll send you an email when it comes back in stock, and then I would jump on it. I've heard a few people saying that they've gotten the email and it works, and then they get it and they actually get the kit. And so that's what I would recommend doing if you're wanting to get the seed starting kit. I know for some of you guys it's still kind of early, and then I know for some of you guys it's about time to be starting those seeds. So I'm gonna recommend hitting the notify me when back in stock, or look at some of their other bundles. They have some really, really good bundles on their website of all the seed starting supplies. So just kind of like look at the bundles and see, what do you need? Do you need the 2-inch pots? Do you want the 6 cells? Just go check out all of their bundles. So let's get these planted now because I can't wait to get my hands in the soil. These are the Scabiosa that are in the lawn. And so I could just come in and like dig these up. I mean, so many of these look so much better. And Brent's already, he mowed that one down. He mowed all of these. But there are Scabiosa all over the lawn, all of those like bright patches. So I could come back here and I'll be able to just grab some Scabiosa out of the grass. Let me show you guys where I think everything is gonna go. I'm thinking in this bed right here next to the aviary that this is gonna be all Lisianthus. Let me turn the camera around and show you guys, and we'll kind of go over where everything is gonna go really quickly. So this bed next to the aviary under our alder tree, this is gonna be full of Lisianthus. I have some alliums coming up right there. I have some lettuce. I do have a still bee plant in there and a peony, I think somewhere over there. But I'm just gonna deck this out with the Lisianthus. So I'll have 72 of them in here, and I'm gonna plant them extremely close together. I think I'm gonna try to get all of them in kind of like a ring right here around the tree like that. And then in this bed, I think I'm gonna do all of the poppies. I have a ton of poppies, and I think I'm just gonna kind of drift them along like this. So they'll kind of like come right here behind this rose of Sharon, and they'll just kind of like drift down, and I'm gonna mix them up. I've got, I think, 3 varieties, and I'm just gonna like intersperse them all together, and then I'll have a back area of planting of higher things. And then if we come to the very back, I think this is where I'm gonna plant all of the Dusty Miller, the new look variety that I have. This area does stay a little bit shadier, so it'll be kind of an experiment. So I think I'm gonna plant along the whole back here because that Dusty Miller should fill up. And I think the silver would be really, really pretty back along the fence like that. And then as far as things like the stock and the pansies and things like that, I am gonna use the pansies inside containers. And so I don't think I'm gonna plant those out quite yet because I have a rose that I'm gonna pot up later this week, and I think I'm gonna pop all of those pansies underneath that rose. I think that'll be really pretty, and then the stalk is just gonna get dispersed somewhere in the landscape. I might even plant it in this side over there. And then what else do we have? Oh, snapdragons. I have some snapdragons, and what do I have? I have lavender snapdragons. I don't know where those are gonna go yet. So those also might be something that I hold off on for another week or two, because I think the area that I do end up wanting them to go is the side yard over here, but I need to do some work. So I think I'm gonna have to do some work before I get those fully planted. so we got all of the Lisianthus planted under the tree. That is going to be so pretty. Now I just have these poppies to do, and I want to go over the 3 varieties that I'm going to plant. This is 30 of them. It's a 32 cell count tray, and I only have 30. So I'm gonna plant all of these kind of like mixed in with each other. I don't want it to be like color blocked. I want it to be like a pink one next to a purple one next to a black one. So I'm gonna turn the camera around and show you guys what these look like now, and then I'll pop pictures up on the screen of what these 3 look like when when they should be blooming. So these are the poppies that we have. I have a few of the black peony poppy, and then this one's my favorite. This is the Swan's Down. I have a few of those, I think up to this one possibly. And then I also have some lilac pom-pom, and I've never grown this one before, and I'm really excited to grow this. But these are all very large type poppies, and they should be really exciting to see. I think that that'll be really, really pretty to have like a drift of these in different colors. My plan is just like take this pot, and I'm gonna put like this pot over on this side, and I'm gonna put this pot over on this side, and that way they're all just like jumbled and mixed when I go to plant them. And that way, like, I don't have like 4 of the Swans Down next to each other. It'll be like, there'll be like 3 next to each other. So that's kind of my plan, is to just jumble these up. Okay, we've got the poppies done, and we have the Lisianthus done, and Brent and I were kind of doing the math on it, and we were talking about it, and we kind of discovered that those poppies, we had to buy each of them at like $5 a piece, which I think that's pretty generous now. I'm noting that most plants right now, for like if you buy, you know, like an individual plant, they would be much bigger than that, but they would be like $7, $8 per plant. And even if they were $5, so being generous, there's, you know, like $150 right there, where those seed packets cost me, I think like $3, $4, and $5 per packet. So, I mean, $13 or something like that, right? $12 for the poppy seeds. And then the seed starting supplies I already had. So, I mean, I'm gonna get all of those poppies, and plus I have a bunch of seeds still left from all of those poppy mixes, so I'll be able to grow them again. And then same thing for the Lisianthus. Like, I saved seeds, and so the seeds didn't even cost me anything. It was just the seed starting soil that cost me something, and it was like a few dollars. And I have 72 of those. I couldn't imagine having to go to the store anymore and buy 72 of anything. Like, that's just insane. I just had that like moment of realization of like how much money that actually is that we just like put in the garden. So let's go get the Dusty Miller planted now at $5 a plant. You guys saw me get all those planted, and you're probably wondering, Robbie, you forgot to fertilize. I did not forget to fertilize. I remembered, I just didn't want to put the fertilizer in the ground because I was being lazy. And so I knew I had to water them in, and so I decided I'm just gonna go in with this Fox Farm liquid plant food. This is called Big Bloom. It's made from earthworm castings and bat guano, so like poop. And then it gives directions on here for how much to use for seedlings and transplants, 1 tablespoon per gallon. I'm probably gonna go a little bit heavier than that. This is a 2-gallon watering can, and so I'm probably gonna go with like 3 tablespoons, maybe 4, and then that way I can water my seedlings in and feed them at the same time. I thought that this was gonna smell really badly. It doesn't have a smell to it at all. It smells like nothing. I've used some other liquid fertilizers in the past, different brands, and they smell god-awful. So I'm really pleased that this one I can actually use it inside on my seedlings also. So 4-ish. And then we're just gonna water all of the seedlings in with this now. All right, you guys, we got all of that done. I'm so excited to have those things planted. It just tells me that spring is basically here. Welcome to California. This is what winters look like, 70 degrees. I was hot today, I was sweating. I mean, you can see I am red. So it's time for me to really bust that sunscreen back out. And it is time for me to like be prepared to just go, go, go. And this just feels like such a breath of like fresh air to get all of these things in the ground. Our season here is extremely long and we are extremely lucky with that, but it gets hot and it gets hot fast. So I gotta get these things in the ground as soon as possible. And so to be able to get all the Lisianthus done, the Dusty Miller done, and all of the Poppies done is huge. That took off like almost 3 trays off of my rack. I still have 1 more tray to do, and then all of the Eurangium. I just have to, I gotta clean up the other side of the property first. So I think that is what I'm going to do tomorrow. So that is gonna be it for this video because it is the very end of the day. I've probably got about 30 minutes left of daylight. So I will see you all in the next one. Bye guys.